Hey, it's Mike Hambright from Flipner.com, and we have a quick expert tip to share with you from Joe McCall, who's going to share a tip on a simple tool to use to outsource your CRM. This expert tip is sponsored by RealtyMogul.com, B2R Finance, and AceBusinessFunding.com.
Hey guys, real simple. This one of the things that I think a lot of investors struggle with is this yellow pad of paper here, right? You talk to a seller, you write down all your notes feverishly, and you say, all right, I'll get back to you. Let me crunch some numbers, sharpen my pencil, let me get back to you. And then all of a sudden at the end of the day, you're left with 5 pages of notes of all the sellers you've talked to, or you have a bunch of Post-it notes on your desk, and you're like, where do I even start? And so then you find yourself spending at least 2 hours a day on the laptop or in your computer updating your CRM, whatever you're using, FreedomSoft or Podio or RealFlow, whatever. There's a lot of good tools out there. And now you find yourself exhausted and spending all this time making sure everything is in there or trying to play catch up. Or worse, when the seller calls back, you're trying to fish through all your notes, trying to find where was it that I talked to you at. Well, what if you could just completely outsource your CRM? And now this stuff is so simple. Once you grasp this concept, you'll be hitting yourself thinking, why didn't I do this before? Everybody's got VAs for the most part, right? Or assistants. Well, why not have your assistant or your VA update your CRM for you? Okay. Now I was looking for my phone. I'm actually looking at it right now and talking to you on it. But what if you could take your smartphone right here, okay, and turn it into, use it to have your VAs update Podio or update your CRM for you. So it's real simple. Get a dedicated email address just for your assistant that only him or her can email you at that email address. So every morning, just email you the first 3 things that you have to do, okay? Call this seller, and that email contains all the details. The second email is call this seller, and it contains all the details, right? You open up the email address, and your assistant is getting this information from the CRM, okay? You open up the email, you see who you got to talk to, and you call them up, and maybe you still use a legal pad, all right? You write down your notes, and this is where the power of this comes in. You use a smartphone app like Voxer, V as in voice, O-X-E-R, Voxer. I use it all the time. It's a voice messaging app, kind of like a walkie-talkie for your smartphone. There's also WhatsApp you can use that does voice messages really easily. So then you send a voice message to your assistant. Hey, Jeannie, I talked to the seller at 123 Main Street. The lead's dead. Go ahead and mark it as dead, but send them a letter anyway, okay? And remind me again in 6 months to call them back. You send that voice memo to your assistant, and you take this notes that you had. Oh, I love throwing away things, all right? You throw it away, it's done, all right? It's out of mind, you don't have to worry about it anymore. You go to the next email, okay? You delete that old email. You go to the next one. You call that seller up, talk to the seller. The listing, it's already listed with a realtor. So you do a voice memo to your assistant. Hey, talk to the seller. They're motivated, but it's listed with the realtor. But go ahead and submit an offer. Send them an offer in the mail for $90,000. Remind me again to call them again in 2 weeks, and send them a text message. And da-da-da-da-da-da. You tell them what to do, and they just get it done for you. After you go through your 3 emails, you say, okay, send them another voice memo. Send me the next thing I got to do. So now what are you doing? You're just doing you're focusing on your highest revenue generating activities, which is talking to sellers and making offers, right? And you let someone else handle the details and updating the CRM for you. And all you need is email and a voice messaging app like Voxer or WhatsApp to then communicate with your assistant who is updating the CRM and then only sending you the reminders of the things that you have to do next. Does that make sense?
That's awesome. Yeah, I think a lot of people, once they finally adopt a CRM, they still are stuck being the administrator of the CRM as well, and you're taking it to a whole other level.
I tell you guys, so many of us want to try to automate and systemize everything, but sometimes the best automation you can have is a good virtual assistant. Don't worry about plugging in all of this extra stuff to do this, to get the systems to do this and this and this for you. Just get a good VA, that works 9 to 5 your time. All right. It's important that this assistant's working your hours, no matter where they are, and just communicate with them with these voice messaging apps to update the stuff for you and remind you of when the things that you have to do.
We'd like to thank Specialized IRA Services, National Real Estate Insurance Group, and virtualstaffnow.com. Please note the views and opinions expressed by the individuals in this program do not necessarily reflect those of flipnerd.com or any of its partners, advertisers, or affiliates. Please consult professionals before making any investment or tax decisions, as real estate investing can be risky.